conduct in office for abuses of power while in office, to demand that the governor remove Chairman Rhodes from office and refer the matters to the Attorney.
Senator Orangeburg, what purpose you rise?
To speak briefly on the introduction. And unanimous consent to pass out something.
Without objection, Senator Orangeburg is recognized to speak on the bill. Bill is assigned to Fish, Game, and Forestry.
Senate, I indicated to you last week when I got those emails that had been responded to as a result of a FOIA request that I was going to bring this back to the Senate for attention because I don't really know what else to do with it but to bring it to our attention. I'm going to be brief in my review of this, but at a Fish, Game, and Forestry committee, which Senator Cromer oversaw, in which we had the board of DNR come before us to offer testimony, and it was decided that the testimony would be offered under oath, the chair of the Department of Natural Resources was being asked some questions generally about the decision to remove Director Frampton, who was just in here, from his position. But in the course of the questions about that, there were questions about DNR's participation in the port decision. And one of the questions was a series of questions, actually, some from Senator Shaheen from Kershaw and some from Senator Grooms from Berkeley, directed to her, asking the chairman if she had ever advised Director Frampton to tell the DNR staff not to testify about the port issue or get involved in the port issue. The reason that's important is when we passed the Savannah Maritime Commission Act, we put in that act that DNR would provide the staff to supplement the commission. We said that they would provide technical support, and so DNR was under a statutory mandate to provide assistance to the Maritime Commission. And that's what we voted on, we charged them to do. It appears what happened is that Chairman Rhodes, some may say on her own volition, and some might suggest, as I do, is that she got a call from somebody asking her to do this, because I just don't believe she woke up one morning and decided on her own to get this involved in it. But she called then Director Frampton and told him to tell the staff not to attend the meeting. And so Director Frampton sent out an email, which I have a copy of, dated December the 7th of 2011. It's to Bob Perry, and it says, "Bob, as per request from our board chair, please do not have any of our staff attend the Savannah Maritime Commission meeting on Friday, December the 9th at our Marine Resources Center. If you have any questions, call me." And so Bob wrote back and said, "Don't go tomorrow?" And then the response was, "But isn't it open to the public?" And the response was, "It might be, but don't go yourself." And it was a direction to staff not to do what they were statutorily mandated to do. The allegations as set forth in this resolution that's been referred to the committee to consider are, one, that she provided false testimony to the committee. She told us she did not do that when in fact she did. And number two, in so doing, she basically interfered with the work of DNR, which she was charged to oversee as the board chair. It's what I passed out to you earlier was I believe from the upstate Spartanburg paper over the weekend, an editorial that's questioning why these emails are ongoing, why this interference with DNR being involved in something that clearly under our legislative decision-making when we created the Maritime Commission, we said DNR was supposed to be involved in. So members of the Senate, you know, I thought about various things that could have been done, and I made some inquiry as to what's an appropriate remedy to take in a situation like this. I thought maybe it was contempt of the Senate, but I understand when I asked about that, that would require a trial on the Senate floor and potential jail sentences and all that. I didn't want to go there. But I do think it's important that we get to the bottom of what went on, who is trying to keep DNR from doing their job. Clearly, on the surface of it, it appears that it's the chairwoman who's trying to keep DNR from doing their job. But I suspect it's somebody else who's talking to her and asking her to do these things. And I have my own suspicions, and my suspicion, of course, as y'all know, is the governor's office. But I think we're going to find out, and I think the public deserves to know. And in fact, that's why I put this on your desk. The end of the editorial in the paper said, "We are left with one ringing question: why? Why did the governor insist on this action, and why does she still defend it today?" You know, Senator Levinas said something, Senator from Sumter said something a couple years ago, and it's always rung true to me. And Senator from Beaufort, Senator Davis, I know this will ring true to you. Senator from Sumter said, you know, if we don't ever do anything in our service here in the Senate but create a port in Jasper County, that's the only thing that third graders will read about 100 years from now in the history books that this Senate that we served in did. That's the only thing of such monumental importance to the future economic viability of this state that we could possibly do. Yes, every bill that comes before us is important on its own merits, but if you're talking about moving a state forward, creating a new port in Jasper would be as transformative as anything we've ever undertaken in this body. And for some reason, there are people out there who are trying to thwart us from moving forward with that, which ought to be a paramount goal for this. So, Senator from Sumter, I recognize you for realizing the historical importance of us getting that done. And you're right, that when history books are published 100 years or 200 years from now, if this General Assembly acts to get a port built in Jasper County, that's what they'll say happened in this decade, in this first half of the 21st century. Thank you for your attention.
Senator Fairfield, what purpose do you rise?
If the senator from Orangeburg would take a question.
Yes, sir.
In any of the emails that John Frampton sent, did he copy Chairman Rhodes? Do you know?
I will say that on the copy of the email that I was provided, I can't see any CCs. I just see from and time sent. So I don't know that. I can't say that that happened, but I don't know that. But, you know, what's important about it, I think, is this. I think we all know Mr. Frampton and his integrity, and in fact, we just honored him right here on the Senate floor. He wouldn't have made this up. I am absolutely convinced, if there's one thing I'm convinced of, is that Mr. Frampton did not attribute to the chairlady something that she didn't ask him to do. And he clearly starts it off as per a request from our board chair. And that's who it was that called him. As you recall at the meeting, and you were there, he testified under oath also. And we asked him, did the board chair direct you to direct staff not to attend the Maritime Committee meeting? He said yes. And the answer to that question came after she had said no. And that's what sparked me to make the FOIA request to see if there was any contemporaneous emails or other documents that would support one side or the other. Because she was saying, I didn't do it. He was saying, you did do it. And clearly what has come out is his email to staff directing them not to do it, which staff questioned. Staff said, you know, kind of, really? You don't want us to go? And he told them, you do not go.
My point being, I agree with you with John Frampton. His integrity is beyond reproach. But at the same time, if the chair lady was copied with that, and she got it, and there's no email to refute that, that's the nail in the coffin.
Well, it would be. That part I don't know. I guess we can go back and look for other emails. I don't know that.
So Newberry, what purpose do you rise?
Mr. President, I have a unanimous consent request. In light of the fact that this resolution has to do with some DHEC permitting and all, I would like to unanimously request that it be heard by the Senate Medical Committee.
Objection noted. Clerk will read the next bill.
The Senate reports favorable on the following statewide appointments. Member of the South Carolina Workers' Compensation Commission at